second just so he can look me dead in the eye and go, "You just got fucked."
He just dry hump you, and that's what he says?
Yeah. Because it pisses me off.
Does he have your consent? Just because it pisses you off.
Yeah.
Just to fuck with you. Oh, relationships.
Oh, he does a lot of shit just to piss me off. He comes up to me, like, I'll come over and he'll be like, "Come here, butt."
That's ridiculous, man.
His nickname for me is my butt.
It's your butt?
No, it's literally quote, end quote, my butt.
Well, it's called my butt because he's referring to your butt as his own butt. So he's... You know what?
Essentially stamping ownership upon my bottom.
And you don't feel too hot about that.
Oh, it just pisses me off. I don't give a shit.
Oh, good God. You poor thing. If you guys are listening right now, this is the Jaking Off Show. The Jaking Off Show is brought to you by the raids at Area 51. Why are you raiding Area 51? You got better shit to do. Go raid a job fair. Go raid an animal shelter. Or better yet, go to the border and raid that shit and get those kids out of there. Either way, we're freeing aliens. Take your pants off, light a joint. It's time to start the party. Hi, Hanna. You were talking about how your... Okay, so your boyfriend dry humps you for like a second, and then just says you got fucked, and then walks away.
Yeah, just because it pisses me off. Like he does that really stupid Sonic voice, like "You just got fucked."
Oh, he's not even doing his own voice. He's just "You're too slow," that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why?
Because it's stupid.
What's the age gap between you two? Like he's a guy, so he's younger than you, right?
Yeah, just by 2 years.
So he's considerably more immature than you are, even though you're.
That's not remotely true. I have the mind of a 12-year-old.
I mean, you're pretty immature too, but and so am I. Who the fuck? I mean, never grow up, right?
Well,
fuck growing up.
Well, I stopped physically growing when I was 12, so I decided my mind should also stay there.
Oh my God, that's a good bit. That's a good bit. You can use that. You could definitely use that. Because, like, we'll mature one day. You know, we'll have our shit together and we'll, you know,
That's
maybe.
funny.
But I'm still going to make couch forts. I'm still going to, like, watch cartoons and shit like that.
I feel like adulthood is the ability to pay for your own couch fort.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best part. And people say, like, "Oh, I miss my childhood," and all that. Well, yeah, you didn't have bills to pay. You didn't have a job. And so now you can, like, still be a kid and like, pay for shit.
Oh yeah, the best thing I saw on the internet yesterday was, when do you finally realize you're an adult? And the answer is the first day you realize that you wish you were still a kid. And I was just like, oh, that hit me.
Yeah.
Right in the feels.
Yeah. The fucking... Everything's being remade again, like, from our childhoods, like, The Lion King is, like, coming out and all that, and it's just like, it's nostalgic.
Yeah, except for, have you seen the clip that they released of Hakuna Matata?
I hate it. I hate it.
It's the deadest thing I've ever seen.
It's not... Because the original was so colorful, and it was so vibrant, and it was kind of like, you know, a fucking cartoon. But this one looks too real.
It's like they took just the storyboards of what they wanted and then didn't fill in the gaps between the storyboards. Like, that's what it looks like.
And fucking the actors are great, or you know, I'm not gonna shit on the actors at all, but like Seth Rogen's not a singer type. Like him and Donald Glover, like, paired off, and whoever the fuck plays Timon, like, that song was like really hit and miss because you had one good singer who can actually know how to sing, and the other, and I don't know about the other guy, but Seth Rogen's just like, "It's a problem-free, like, stop. It's nostalgic and it's making a lot of money, but does it mean it's still good?
I mean, everyone's watching it now, I think, because it's a train wreck. And it's got star power. Like, all of these remakes, like, back when, like, they were doing these animated versions of these cartoons, they wouldn't necessarily cast star power. Robin Williams kind of was, like, the person that kick-started casting star power in cartoons.
He started it.
Yeah, he started it. Because, like, if you look at, like, animated films before then and after Aladdin, nobodies. People that were just able to do the voice. Fucking nobodies. After Robin Williams, fucking any fucking star, like, B-list stars, like, people who were like, "Oh, my career's dead, let me voice this character." And then all of a sudden it just built this traction till now we're fucking remaking Beauty and the Beast with goddamn Emma Watson, who can't sing to save her life, but just because she looks like Belle, they're gonna cast her.
Yeah. And that's what's made voice acting even more competitive is that known actors already are not just in the door, they've moved in. Like it's made voice actors it's made it harder to find voice actors work because they want the celebrity lead. Like, can't we just have someone that does a voice that's not like recognized? Like, it's just, let's just see the cartoon character as the character, and that just happens to what they sound like. Not fucking Meryl Streep is in this one, and we're gonna associate like her character with her voice, and she doesn't have to do anything. She just has to talk. You know, there's no like change in cadence or anything like that. And that's just a shitty example. But you were just doing you were just casting like a fan dub of some anime, right? So you were doing like some voice stuff.
Yeah, just fan dubs right now. Like,
yeah.
Or like just free fan made projects. I'd like to do some professional work, but we will see.
If you treat it as a professional doing work, then it is.
Well, yeah. No, of course I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just like to get paid for once in my life.
Yeah, but it's not about the money, man. It's about...
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure. But, I mean, we all got got bills to pay and all that, but when you do something for the money, like... something's missing. Like,
well, no, of course.
If I wanted to do something for the money, I would just have a fucking job. Like that's for the money. I don't give a shit. I just need it for the money. But like creative stuff, like it's like your heart and soul gets put into that. The money comes in later, over time. You know, that's what we all do.
After I'm dead.
After you're dead. Well, with Clown College, you know, you spent so much time and money. So much money and so much effort to it. You think you're gonna get something right out of the gate.
Oh, hell no.
You know, when you got in, you're all gleamy-eyed, like, oh, I'm gonna start getting work as an actor when I'm done with this.
No.
No. The first script I got was a menu at a diner. So, you know, it's not about the money, man. And people who are in it for the money are in it for the wrong reasons. But granted,
yeah, because they're never gonna make any
money is along the way. You know,
Munty.
you do want to make a living doing that.
What the fuck is Munty?
Munty? You're so starved of Munty. I need more Munty in my bank account, please. What's the currency for Munty? I feel like it's just a ball of mud and
it sounds
junk.
like a kind of cheese.
Munty? Yeah.
Munty and Munster.
Munty and Munster cheese. Yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with that. But dude, voice acting is sick though, because even though you may not be making money in it now, when I got motion capture gig for a video game, I don't even know what game it was for. It was for like the same guys that made Assassin's Creed. I don't know who the company is.
Did you get to die?
No, they just did a scan of my face.
Oh.
So they took a picture of my face from all these different angles, and I was there for an hour, and they paid me $300. A full like voiceover session is like SAG scale, and you get to like work in your pajamas and shit. That's the fucking dream.
That's my dream.
You just want to be in a small closet space talking to yourself.
I mean, I already do that in my own bedroom, so why not get paid for it?
Right, exactly, man. With the fan dubs and all that, you put your own voice, or if you have to play a child, you go more high pitch, or like...
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah.
One of the things I was cast in recently actually is a Let's Play of it's a completely dubbed Let's Play of Dragon Quest IX. Like,
ooh.
Yeah, I fucking love Dragon Quest IX. Are you fucking kidding me?
Look at my fucking door, dude. That's 11 right there.
And I got cast as Stella.
Okay.
Which is the fairy companion of the hero, and in almost every Dragon Quest, the hero is mute and says nothing, save for, like, select choices.
A couple of grunts.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about 9 is that the hero is actually a character that you design. The whole thing that made Dragon Quest IX interesting was that not only was your character completely customizable, but you had no party members. Instead, you would go to an inn and hire party members. And they were completely customizable, and you could make them be anyone. So, like, if you wanted to have, like, Elena from Dragon Quest IV be in your party, so long as you had, like, the gear to make the character look like Elena, you could technically have Elena and just, like, give that character the skills.
Was that the one that was on the DS?
Yes, it was.
See, that's why I'm not familiar with that one. I was only familiar with 8, the one that was on the PS2, and like the early ones, and this one. Like, I'm late to the party.
Oh yeah, Dragon Quest 9 was on the DS. The funny story about that was Dragon Quest 9 had this feature where if you would close your DS, people passing, because Dragon Quest is ginormous in Japan. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, they purposely release Dragon Quest games on weekends so that it doesn't like interfere with businesses, because they know everyone's gonna get it. And so they had the feature where if you closed your DS and you passed by someone who also had Dragon Quest in their DS, that they would pass by and trade information. And the feature was so phenomenal and so well received that became the prototype for Street Pass on the 3DS.
Oh shit.
Dragon Quest 9 is the reason why we have Street Pass on the 3DS.
That's
it's
so fucking
sick. Fantastic. The game is phenomenal. It is absolutely endless. You literally cannot run out of things to do, barring the fact that the things you will not run out of the things you won't be running out of to do are the same repetitive things, except slightly retooled differently just because of the dungeon function.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you will literally never run out of things to do in that game, and it is awesome.
To people that think that video games are a waste of time, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry where you pay voice actors, you pay motion capture stunt people, actors, and forget the technicians and shit. There are people that have very creative minds that work on this stuff. So, Mom and Dad, you told us that we were wasting our time. Guess what? We're not.
I mean, we are. I've dropped like 40, 60 hours on an individual game at a time. Dragon Quest 9 is like
but you're
hundreds of hours on that copy, and
I think I've got almost 200 on the new one, and that was just picking at it and completing it. And it was only $60. And like, I'm probably gonna play this once, and maybe I'll touch on it again in a year, and it's still gonna be good. It's still gonna be good to me, because it's got like the stereotypical tropes of like, there's evil and we have to stop it, but it's good.
But the nice thing about Dragon Quest compared to like shit like Final Fantasy, and God, I'm gonna have frothing masses of nerds come at me when I say this, and the Tales of series, and barring that, I absolutely love the Tales of series. I would play the Tales of series over Final Fantasy any day. Not counting 14. I have no life because I play too much Final Fantasy 14. Barring that, the reason why the Dragon Quest series is so good is because they take these tropes and they don't fuck with them, you know? Yeah. Like, there's, like, admittedly, they do formulate things, but the tropes are done in such an over-the-top way that it's, like, it completely full circles and becomes fantastic and new again.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is trying so hard to be this edgy thing where people wear too many fucking belts and they're all in goddamn black. And they lose sight of the storytelling in favor of these character-driven plots. 15 had that huge problem. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, and the characters were so well-rounded and so great, and you really felt for these characters, but you just didn't feel for the story that they were put in, because they were built up, but the story itself was not not enough of a platform to carry them.
Yeah, it's hard to make a good game nowadays. You know, how was Anime Expo? You did that.
Anime Expo was, well, it wasn't as hot as last year, so that was great.
Yeah, because my brother worked that, and he had, like, no time to go to any panels or anything, but you went
I didn't go to a single fucking panel. Are you kidding me? Try to get to a panel at Anime Expo? Try to compete with frothing masses of nerds who are willing to sit in the sun for hours to go to a 30-minute panel? Fuck that noise.
And nobody's wearing deodorant or hand sanitizer or anything.
Oh no, there were some great cosplayers. There was a lady who was standing outside the exit and was like, "If you stink, I've got body spray." And there was another guy who was waiting in line for me during day one, and he was like, he had a flak jacket, and he fucking like duct taped different kinds of deodorant to his fucking jacket and was like, "Take a free deodorant, you stink." And I was just like, you're a fucking hero.
Genius.
Oh yeah, there are a couple.
But he's just giving them away.
Just giving them the fuck away.
See, I'd want
because like you can get them for $1 at Target. They weren't like the big ones.
That's
why
I want like a donation box, man.
Well, I mean, sure, but, like, we don't go to Anime Expo expecting to make money. We go to Anime Expo expecting to drop so much money that we cannot eat for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. My brother got, he was there all 4 days, and he got free passes and stuff like that, but he was working those days, and there was all this stuff that he wanted to buy. Like, he bought me that ocarina from Anime Expo. And it looked sick, but he's like, it was on the last day, and everybody was like kind of packing their shit and leaving. It was just, he didn't have enough time.
Yeah, there was no time day for, honestly. No, you don't. If you want to make it to panels, you give up on other things.
It's too big.
It's too fucking crowded. So I like getting there a little later. But if I get there a little later, I have less time to go to Artist Alley and Exhibition Hall, which always close at 6 o'clock. And so if you get there at 12, you only have 6 hours to get there, but first you gotta deal with the lines. And then you have to, like, figure out what you're gonna do. You have to get something to eat. You wanna look at all the fucking cosplayers. Like, I went to a cosplay gathering day 2 because I cosplayed Jude Mathis from Tales of Xillia, and so I went to the Tales of Gathering. But after that, then I wanted to go to fucking exhibit hall, but I don't know, but it was like, it's crowded. It's hard to go, and you're bumping into people constantly.
Yeah, and that's a crowd that would, I would certainly hope that would pay attention to your work. You know, if you're doing something that caters to a certain audience, that would be on board with this kind of thing. Like you want the word out. You know, same with cosplayers. Like there's people who make money doing cosplaying, right?
Yeah,
there's, like,
there are.
These models and like Instagram accounts of all these people that are making money doing what they love to do, and you know, there's always an avenue to happiness. You just got to make like sacrifices and shit, you know. Like, you're fucking hilarious, and your stand up is ever growing, and I want you to do more of it.
Thanks, I appreciate
it. I really
that.
do, because we went to basically the same school at different times. Like, we weren't there at the same time.
No, basically when you left, I went. I graduated fall 2012. So you came in fall 2012, or was it winter? Fall 2013, I think.
So a year.
Yeah.
I had been out a year, and Did you find out about it through me, or how did you find out about it?
My sister. So, I was at Pierce, actually, and I took a voice class because I needed to fill my...
Yeah.
I needed full units to get a bus pass.
Like
so I signed up for a fucking voice class for a bus pass. And,
you sang for a bus pass.
Basically, I sang for a bus pass, but, I was really enjoying it, and you know what, I really enjoyed it, and I was like, you know, maybe I want to pursue this. Because, like, I was there, it was my 4th year at Pierce, and I was trying to get my prereqs to transfer to a regular university so I can get my degree in microbiology, except calculus was cock-blocking me every step of the way, and I was just fucking sick of it. And I was like, you know, I like music. You know what? I can't pass calculus. I'm burnt out. Let's just try it. And I liked it. So I was like, I'm just going to keep doing it.
Did you get to do the voiceover classes that Stu had?
Nah.
No?
No, I wanted to. But
I think that was something they did once. They were, like, experimenting on the idea of a voiceover class last semester.
They did it afterwards as, like, an after... Like, you know how, like, they have, like, those extracurriculars?
Yeah.
They did it my 2nd semester as an extracurricular, but the problem was if I didn't work, I didn't get to go to school.
Right.
So I had to give up a lot of extracurricular possibilities just because I had to work. The one semester I didn't was my last semester, and I landed I was like, you know, if I get this, I'll only work once a week, and I'll work when the show's done. But the thing is, I wasn't working for like 2 months, and I racked up so much money in food bills. Yeah. It was painful.
Those breakfast burritos at Clown College were a killer for me.
Oh, they were delicious, but they were like, expensive.
Yeah, what was it, $7 a pop or something? And this was in 2013, so
$7 for a burrito.
A burrito now is like $9.
Yeah, but I'm like, man, if it's gonna be $7, it better be some fucking Juanitos quality.
Yeah, and Juanitos. Oh, I miss that place. So Juanitos, dude. Is it still there?
It's still there.
It's still there. I gotta go over there.
I can't imagine
that was the spot at Birmingham.
Juanitos will never go anywhere so long as there are students at Birmingham willing to eat their food.
Yeah, that was it. And Clown College had what, 7-Eleven?
Dude, I lived off 7-Eleven. I would get large Slurpees, and I would just wander with my large cherry Slurpee and be happy.
You think they would do, like, if you're doing, okay, the major was musical theater, and that was so geared, because I saw it too, and that was so geared towards dance classes and singing classes, and what was it? One improv class? That's not enough.
No,
that's not enough. And if they had a voiceover class available, it shouldn't have been extracurricular, because singing in a booth is so different from singing on stage.
Oh yeah.
You know, with the microphone, like we're kind of projecting a little bit because there's some distance between us, but they got the wind guard right here, and they're like this close. They're very close, and they're singing like softly, or if they're really belting it out, like they'll distance themselves. But it's that kind of stuff that they don't teach you.
Yeah, all they teach you is how to be on stage, and the thing is, not everybody wants to be on stage. Shit.
Yeah.
Like I love musical theater. I will always love...
Totally a soft spot for me.
I will always love musical theater. But, I don't see myself pursuing it as much as I love singing. And don't get me wrong, having voice lessons every week for 3 years straight was fucking invaluable. But honestly, I don't even think I came into my voice until after I left school, because that place gave me so much anxiety that I didn't feel like I was capable of anything. And it wasn't even until maybe my 5th semester there that any of my teachers thought I was capable of anything.
And it's so borderline militant when it's really not like that at all. Not in LA, at least for me. New York was more intense, but the dance classes felt like fucking boot camp. Was it like that for you? Because I only took 2 classes, but you probably took more classes than I did.
I had to take a dance class every fucking semester, and I want you to know that I hated every moment.
Well, not naming names or whatever, but there were probably I had a couple of teachers that were just you can't, if you fail this class, you'll never get on Broadway. I'm like, well, I don't want to get on Broadway.
Yeah,
but I gotta pass this
class. If you can't learn this routine by tomorrow, you will never ever be able to make it on stage. And I'm just
You'll never work in this town, bitch.
And I'm just sitting here man, I don't really want to do musical theater in the first place.
Yeah, but and you realize that halfway through too, because that's when it hit me.
Partially. I ended up doing a musical afterwards, after I graduated, and I enjoyed it.
How come I didn't find out about it?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you not promote it? You're just I'm doing this thing. Come if you want.
Yeah, kind of. I liked it for what it was. Yeah. It was the musical was called Letters to Eve, and actually it's by a really phenomenal composer named Dan Sugimoto.
Ooh.
His grandmother was in the internment camps in World War II.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah, and he wrote this musical, Letters to Eve, about the Japanese internment and the very first all-Japanese regiment that would get sent to war in World War II. Men who wanted to prove that they were just as American as everyone else. And I really loved it for the material that it was. It just wasn't my style. And the thing is, I love it. It's still phenomenal. The writing is brilliant and the music is brilliant. But it was very theatrical, and I am 100% not a theatrical person in the slightest.
But the market for Asian actors is pretty small, so you might as well take it.
Yeah, and that was it. And it was Asian. Yeah. And Dan he's half Japanese, half white. You would never know by looking at him. He looks totally Caucasian, but his last name's fucking Sugimoto. He's half Japanese.
Like Markiplier, he's half Korean, but he looks very white.
No, Markiplier looks totally Asian. I look at Markiplier. Maybe I'm looking at him wrong. You're totally looking.
When I first saw him, I'm like, that's a white guy, right? And then he brought up that his
mom's Korean.
That his mom's Korean. I'm like, there it is. I saw it after he had mentioned that.
Markiplier,
I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah.
Markiplier looks white in the sense that if you drop him in a group of Asian people, he looks like the white guy. But if you drop him in a group of white people, he's the Asian guy.
Yeah.
My boyfriend is like that. He's Mexican, but
he's pretty white looking.
Yeah, he's pretty white looking. But if you drop him in a room full of Slavic, wasp-looking ass guys.
He's the most ethnic-looking guy ever.
Yeah, he's like, it's like, oh, you're brown. I see it now. But you put him in a room full of like Latino guys. It's like he's the white guy.
That's why I love that we should all mix. Like I don't plan on having children anytime soon, but if I'm going to, it's not going to be a white kid. I don't want a white baby. I want a mixed baby. I want that baby to be in the melting pot and fit in as many places as he or she can. Not like in a box and all that.
I mean, it's nice, but the dichotomy of it is...
It's like, I could be...
You end up not fitting in at all.
True.
I mean, look, okay, I'm only a quarter white. I mean, yeah.
Where?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know, my last name, Sturgeon.
Yeah.
If it's not the whitest name you've ever heard, that's how you know I'm a Filipino anchor baby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not. My mom totally came here with her visa. They tried to deport her after I had been born.
Oh, shit.
And my mom was like, dude, I came here legally.
Well, you missed it.
Huh?
Missed your chance. You know, should have did it while I was pregnant.
You know, my mom was like, I'm here legally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to an American citizen. I'm not sure what you're trying to do here.
That should be... Isn't that automatic?
No, it's not.
It's not?
I mean,
there's paperwork and shit like that.
I honestly don't know. I think... I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point was she almost got deported, but then another lady saw her, like, arguing with the person and, like, explaining everything and was like, no, just take this form and fill it out. You're fine.
That's so dumb. The bureaucracy of it.
Yeah,
it's really dumb.
Some people want to be helpful and other people don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like...
100 years ago.
Yeah.
100 years ago, it was just like, oh, you're here, you don't speak a word of English, oh, put your name on this thing, we'll change it if the last name's too weird looking, and welcome aboard, man.
But I'm a quarter white, you know, but I look completely Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Although if you put me in a room full of Filipino people, the point to me is the one that's mixed.
Yeah, you're the least Filipino looking of all the Filipinos.
Oh yeah, totally right. You know, but
you're going to be the next Jokoi.
Not remotely.
You're going to be the female Jokoi.
I don't want to be the female Jokoi. I want to be the first Hanna Sturgeon.
Ah, that's even better. That's even better.
You know?
I like the sound of that.
Right? But I'm not... But, you know, I'm in a room full of Filipino people, and they're like, but you're not Filipino, you're American. But you ask your average, what you consider cookie-cutter American, and they look at me and go back to China.
That's so fucked up, and that's, like, the ignorance of it, man, is that, like, I can't believe, like, I try to stay informed, but I also try to stay sane. You know, like, I'm not in the dark about politics, but, like, ever since that, like, that what you just said, go back to your country, whatever, like, that's coming up a lot in conversation now because of fucking something Trump said. And it's like, dude, this isn't old. It has a spotlight on it now, and I can't believe this is still a thing.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, in high school...
Just saying that is pure ignorance.
I would get told that in high school, at Birmingham. And the crazy thing was, it was never white... But let's be real, you were, like, the only white kid at Birmingham.
Me?
Okay, like, one of two.
Yeah. They all hung out in one spot.
Of course they did.
That one tree...
Yeah.
On the quad.
Of course they did.
They're all goth as fuck too.
Yeah, so you were like one of like 3 or 4 white kids at that school, and yet the people that were all telling me to go back to China, Latino kids.
Yeah, well, everybody's fucking racist.
And
man.
I'm just like, y'all are assholes, you know?
Old black people are racist, Mexicans are racist, Asian people are racist towards black people.
Yeah.
Everybody's racist towards each other in some way or another. And it's just out of
but like
stupidity.
But the ludicrousness of them telling me to go back to China, when today they're all rallying against a political enemy, you know, who's telling them to go back to their country. I'm like, you guys were telling me the same shit literally 10 years ago. I understand that people can change and grow, but the hypocrisy is kind of outstanding.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm gonna join ICE, fool, but I'm gonna destroy it from the inside. No, you're playing the game.
But you're
just a pawn in it.
You can't play the game. The game is here to play us.
Oh, God, it's awful. You know what? We're talking about high school, and you know what's so fucking funny that I'm just remembering now? Is that we've known each other a long time, and yet when we first met, we didn't like each other at all.
Of course not.
Because of dumb teenager shit. I don't remember.
I don't know why I didn't like you. I assumed it was because you were tall and white.
Tall and white, you know,
everything
cis
I'm
male
not.
guy, everything you're not, you know. My people dominate everything, and you're tiny, and you felt like inadequate or something. I mean we all kind of did.
Oh, of course we did. It was high school. We were fresh out of middle school, which is like...
Are we even people at that time?
I mean, we're people enough to know who's not people.
Yeah.
Which would be us.
I remember you saying something like, women can reproduce without men. We don't need men. Like, we're gonna be like the Gerudo and shit. Like, I think you compared. I think you compared a Legend of Zelda race to men.
That's gotta be one of the nerdiest things.
Like, you gotta have one around just to keep the population going.
Like,
but you don't need a lot of them.
We'll just keep men for sperm and just not have to deal with any of them. Yeah. Although funnily enough, I believe that. Not recently, I remember reading an article about it a long ass time ago about creating the first genetic chimera out of 2 eggs.
2 eggs?
Yeah, because if you have 2 eggs, you have the X and X chromosome, and you will automatically have a female.
Yeah.
I mean, unless some other shit comes up and you have, like, XXX, and at which point you're porn, but...
Right. That's good. That's another good bit that you should definitely keep. And that's another reason why I'm glad that we're recording this, because so far, I think you've come up with 2 bits that I don't think you've said on stage yet.
No, I don't think I have.
Right.
I literally just said it was porn right now.
I'm
probably hurting someone's feeling who's got, like, XXX chromosomes, but, like, they can run around saying that they're porn. That's something that I, as an asexual person, will never have the chance to do.
Right, and it's hilarious how you explain that, because you were totally schooling me on gender pronouns and, like, non-binary, they, them, and I'm just thinking, like, oh, like, I'm on board. I'm for it. Cool. Do you. Whatever. But I'm just amused and confused. In a grammatical sense. Like, what was it? They are going to the store. I'm thinking of more than 2 people.
Yeah.
But it's still in the singular. And you were explaining it how in French, it makes sense.
It makes sense in French. Yeah, so in a couple of romantic languages, I believe. And if I'm wrong, feel free to lambast me, because, like, I am not nearly as educated as I like to pretend I am.
Well, you're definitely smarter than me in this department.
In French, the word for you is tu, but the word for you is also vous, depending on whether you're being formal or informal. Vous is also the word you would use for you in the plural, so where are they going would... like, could be tu or vous, depending on who you're talking to, one person or multiple, or if you're being formal, it's just one person. But it works in English too, and that's what astounds me, that people are like, oh, they want to use they, them, what are they, a washing machine? And I'm just like, no, assholes.
Yeah.
I, had to say...
They're just trolling. I don't think...
No, well, they're not just trolling, but they don't...
Far.
No, because, the worst part is, I heard people in my church saying that.
Oh.
And I literally stopped them. I literally walked right up to them, and I don't care that they're older than me. And Asian people hate it when you're younger than them and you correct them. But I walked right up to them, and I was like, 1, that's not okay to say, because if you have kids in this church that don't fit the gender binary, you have just alienated them from ever being comfortable enough to talk to you ever again. Yeah. And 2, if you don't know what the supposed gender of a person is, how do you refer to them? They. Oh, Jake's bringing a friend. Oh, what's their name? Who are they? What are they like?
See, that works.
He's coming with them. And that's singular. Guys who don't want their girlfriends to know who they're hanging out with will use them constantly.
I see that. I use dude in that context because dude that's everybody.
It's very California.
It's very California as well, but it's dude, she's a dude, he's like the movie Good Burger. He's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes. Like, I've called my mother dude plenty of times.
I burnt my hand on I once was washing my hands and the water got too hot, and I told the faucet, dude, what the fuck? Yeah,
like, it's I see it that way. Like, we're just human. Like we don't need to be hung up on what fucking junk you have.
Yeah.
Really. Like, you're a person that breathes and exists just like you and me. So can we all just fucking get along? Like, I was raised by hippies. It's very easy for me to distinguish that. I'm just grammatically like, huh? Like,
yeah,
it just sounds confusing.
It sounds confusing, but English is evolving all the time. They fucking put lol in the dictionary, so why the fuck...
Since when?
Since forever ago.
LOL is in the fucking dictionary?
LOL is in the goddamn dictionary.
Oh no, what's happening?
The language is evolving. Look, 100 years ago, English did not sound like this. And 50 years ago, we all spoke like this, you scallywag.
That's very true.
So, English is constantly evolving. Words that, fuck. They fucking used to say ratfink in the 50s. You say ratfink now, and people are gonna be like, the fuck is a ratfink?
What is that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Isn't that the disgusting, like, garbage rat that, ratfink? It's like a biker mouse. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I mean, look, all I know is it was just like, I think it was just something you would call someone, like a scoundrel. I don't fucking know. That sounds like a Google moment to me.
Yeah, you should respect your elders, but stupid people get old too, Like, some people live a long life, and they don't changes because they don't feel like they need to.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, like, people change, things change before, you kind of change with it. At the times, but some people they're comfortable in their decade when they came up, and that decade was a very bigoted, fucked up decade, like the 50s till now. I mean, if I'm this is like I think this is a Louis C.K. bit where, like, if you could go back in time and be any race, like, what would it be? Like, you'd pick white.
Yeah.
Right? You'd pick white, hands down. Even
Hell
if you weren't white, you would say white because, like, I would choose to be black like, if you have to ask a black person, like, would you go back in time? I'm like, fuck no.
Of course not.
Never. No. And it's such a shame, like, how people breed and have them think that way. Like, I saw footage from a Trump rally, and there was, like, a little kid, like, just kind of pumped up there, just happy to be there, but there's, like, an absence of, like, what is this kid being taught?
But that's how you start a cult.
Yeah.
You create a sense of community, and then you bring them up to think that everyone else outside of that community is the other, and all of a sudden you have people that will not stray from what you're teaching them.
Yeah.
Which also sounds like religion, and I shouldn't get into that since I also mentioned I go to church.
It's too deep. I mean, if we want to have a 3-hour-long podcast and talk about religion, you have to smoke this with me. First of all, you're not going anywhere, but we're not going to do that because you don't smoke, no?
No. I've tried, and every time I do, I don't enjoy it.
You don't enjoy it?
No, I like having relative control of my facilities, which doesn't say much because I like to drink, but at least when I try to say something smart when I drink, I can pretend that it's smart, and when I'm high, I can't pretend whatsoever.
That makes I guess it's different for everybody because I've been an avid user of the pot for
forever.
Not a long time. I don't know. I was a late bloomer because I started in college, so let's say 10 years. Yeah, I've been smoking weed for 10 years, and it's definitely, like, in terms of, like, behavior, like, you get hungry, like, people get sleepy, and you just don't enjoy it because you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, people who say that, like, oh, I don't like pot, oh, then you're not cool. Or, what the fuck?
Oh,
like,
you haven't had the right strain.
You haven't had the good shit
You
yet.
need to smoke a sativa, not an indica. The indicas will...
Like, stop.
Excuse me?
Stop it.
I mean, what you determined as a sativa and an indica was just what fucking mood you were in when you smoked that specific pot. And at this point, everything is a blend of sativa and indica. At this point, so what does it fucking matter?
I don't really get the connoisseurs of the weed business because as long as it gets me high, who the fuck cares what it's called or what it's cloned from? I don't care. I just want to fucking smoke it and feel good. That's all. And for people like you who don't particularly enjoy it, and then their retort is, well, you haven't had good weed. Maybe you just don't like weed.
I'm allowed to not like weed.
Yeah, and like you're immediately thought of, like, lesser as a person in California if you don't, like, partake in the devil's lettuce or the giggle grass or whatever. And that's bullshit. Like, I haven't had a drop of alcohol in 2 years, and there are people that it's a mixed result. It's either like, oh, good for you, whatever.
Or I'm so sorry.
Or just like, oh, God, you're boring. Like,
I mean, I'm sorry you need alcohol to be interesting?
Right.
I mean, like, I can acknowledge that I am a boring human being. I sit in my room, I spend most of my free time sitting in my room with no pants playing video games all day.
Love it.
Right? But
always fun.
if someone else were to walk in, the first thing they would note is, why aren't you wearing pants? And the answer would always be, what the fuck are you doing in my room? Get out.
I'm playing Minecraft. Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. Let's be clear here. I have no life.
Yeah.
I have 14.
Like, we could go to a bar together and you could have an alcoholic beverage and I'm just going to order a ginger ale. Like, I can hang out. We can do that.
Yeah.
But if it was like a weed bar, like, which they're gonna pop up.
Oh, of course.
It's gonna happen. If it's not happening now, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be weed bars every 10 feet, not even just dispensaries, where we can both walk in and you're guaranteed a contact high from all the smoke. I mean, this is a vape pen. I mean, you didn't even smell it when I was hitting this thing, right?
Nope.
Yeah, dude, my roommate has asthma, so like I'm trying to be respectful and all that, and I don't want to stink up the whole place. So I switched to this pen.
How is it?
I like it. I'm not like it's not. There is a difference in strain though, because the previous strain that I got was 90% THC, and that was just. I can't hang. It's too much. It's too strong. But this is like a 55%, and I can like still get stuff done and not be a lazy piece of shit. Like it's not the pot that makes me lazy. It's the lazy that made me lazy, and like. But at the same time, that 90%, too strong, and I'm a lightweight. So, like, I don't know. How many shots until you're drunk, quote unquote?
Me? Oh, I'm Asian, like 2.
2?
Okay, it depends.
Yeah.
Like, it depends on if I've eaten, because if I haven't eaten, I could have, like, a shot, and I'm probably going to feel it. If I've eaten like pizza or something, I'll have 5 shots and I'll be like, great, I just spent money on 5 shots and I don't feel shit.
Oh God, you poor thing.
It is all or
that
nothing
sucks.
for me. I either get drunk like instantly, or nothing happens at all, and I'm just kind of like, great, now I've just wasted my money.
Well, yeah,
I could have done this shit at home.
The alcohol absorbs nutrients. Like that's why like people can like just eat bread and drink alcohol all day. Because for every shot is a piece of bread, and you can just keep going. You can keep going and all that, and stay like at a consistent level of drunk that you want to be, and still drink like a very copious amount of alcohol. But if you're mixing, I don't know if that's another story. What's your poison? Like,
oh, I like tequila.
Yeah, you stick to it, right? Like, you don't go from like tequila to vodka to rum. Like, that's where
I think
over.
vodka
Game over.
and rum taste absolutely disgusting. I mean, but you ask someone else, like, what do you think about tequila? Oh, tequila's nasty. I hate tasting the barrel.
What? Taste the barrel?
Yeah, so if you get like different kinds of tequila, like if you get like a blanco or a reposado or an añejo, you know, it's basically how aged and how filtered it's been. Añejo being aged and not really all that filtered, blanco being Mexican vodka.
Because when it came to drinking shots, like, I didn't taste it.
You're not supposed to.
You're
You're supposed to drink
You're
the
not
fucking
supposed
thing.
to. I don't want to taste the barrel. Are you drinking a shot of tequila? Or, like, if it's a mixed drink, you kind of want to, like... Enjoy it. But if you're just shooting it, like, why the fuck do you care about the taste? It just
because it's still going in your mouth and you're still swallowing. You know, you have taste buds down your throat still, technically speaking. So if you drink a shot, you're still gonna taste it as it goes down, and that's disgusting.
God, and you know, our good friend, won't mention names. You know who, but she likes tequila too.
Yeah,
she
woman
loves
of
it.
taste.
She loves it, and I can't hang with tequila. Even when I was drinking heavily, tequila was one of those drinks where it's like, all right, some clothes are gonna come off, and we're gonna get hungry, and we're gonna get horny, and bad things are gonna happen, and I'm not gonna remember half of it, because it just maybe it's because of that particular night, but my first impression of tequila was, oh, this is wild. The deviant's coming out. Someone's getting Me Too'd tonight. Someone's.
Oh my God.
Sorry, not sorry. Something's happening, and I was a straight guy at a musical theater college. My pickings were very easy. It wasn't even a fucking competition. Because all the hot guys were gay.
So they had to settle for ugly ass you?
Yeah, they had to get deep through the bottom of the barrel, man. They're just like,
you weren't even like the scum at the bottom of the barrel. You were the scum under the bottom of the barrel.
Hey, come on. Don't make me start taking shots at you, shorty.
I mean, you're allowed to.
I know. Grow up. Sorry, you can't. So do you go up on the guy? What? I'm just fucking with you.
No, I climb them like a tree.
You climb them like a tree. Oh, Hanna, it's been lovely. Thank you for doing this so much. Thank you so much. It's always fun, and I could honestly cry right now because this is something I want to do, and I think I can break even doing it. You know, getting your art out, anybody else's art out, is you just need to get the word out.
Yeah.
Right, and people will flock to it that are into it. There's a whole bunch of nerds at Anime Expo that might want to love to hear your fandom of the animes that you do.
That's true.
And you're going to name me those animes, and I got to put that in the description and all that.
Yeah, of course.
We're going to do all that.
I mean, I'm a minor character in it, but I still want people to watch it.
Yeah, and don't even be ashamed to, like, put it on your social media and stuff. Like, if he's like, oh, Hanna's doing something. Have it not just be memes. I love memes. I love your memes.
I do nothing but meme.
But you gotta meme and put your stuff out.
Shit.
Because that's what's gonna help it grow, man.
But memeing is easy.
Memeing is taking a fucking picture and putting text over it. That's all.
You see, but only the memes that get shared are worthy of being given the title of meme.
Right, but
everything else is just trash.
It should also be your meme, man. You could put you could make one for like a fan. I don't know how it fucking works. I don't know how it works. Oh my god. So there's no show dates for me right now. I just did a couple of shows at Flappers. I'm just hitting the open mic circuit. Nothing going on, but there's going to be something going on. We're always growing. I'm going to launch my Patreon very soon. If it's not out already, it's going to be out, and there will be a link eventually for that, and explaining how all of that shit works. We reached climax, people. We jaked off. We had a good time. Signing off.